If these sources are correct, and it's 7.7% and 23.5% from China and Russia, how does that differ from what we were anticipating?
That's about in line with what we were anticipating. I mean, we've seen a lot of numbers kind of thrown out there by the industry, certainly, and by consumers of aluminum and people who are afraid of some of the tariffs that may be coming. But what I think you're seeing now is you're seeing shares in aluminum companies shoot up. You're seeing shares in steel companies shoot up as well, as we're awaiting the details on whatever steel recommendations the U.S. Commerce Department will make. Again, these are just recommendations, so we'll have to see what the president actually does, but we've certainly heard him say plenty of times that he wants more tariffs on
it took a whole year for this investigation to happen, and we're just getting the results today, apparently. But it does seem like a lot, a 23.5% tariff on China aluminum. Is it in comparison with historical tariffs?
Well, the other part you have to think about is the tariffs only kick in once you've gone beyond 87% of what you sent to the U.S. last year. So the vast bulk of this will not be affected. It's going to be sort of that last 13 or so percent that we'll be looking at to be subject to these tariffs. So again, the numbers are just in, so we're still working out exactly what the details are and who will be affected, but we've seen the immediate pop in the equities markets as a result.
Exactly. Immediate pop in aluminum trading in London as well. I mean, who will this be good for?
Well, it will be good for people who have production here in the United States, so the Century Aluminums of this world, the Alcoas of this world.
Will the consumer notice any difference?
Well, that's been one of the major things that I think has been holding up this decision, because we've seen a lot of the consumers, the beer can makers and other folks who use a lot of aluminum, really concerned about what this will do to the price of their product and ultimately what that will mean for their price of the product on the shelves for consumers.
Why the difference, 7.7 overall and 23.5%, particularly China and Russia? Why that disparity?
Well, I think, first of all, it's meant to sort of hit those places that we don't necessarily feel entirely friendly towards. Venezuela is also on that list, and Vietnam is on that list, which may seem a bit of an outlier, but that's because some of the reporting we've seen indicates that metals are being transferred to Vietnam from China to avoid some of the import restrictions now. So we're trying to hit those places that are big suppliers of places that we're not particularly fond of right now.